This is the Wyoming Division Historical Society Model Railroad, where today we find an unusual visitor to the rails of this western region, the Southern Pacific's cab forward number 4117. As this unusual locomotive wasn't expected to this part of Union Pacific's domain, very few observers were able to stop and watch this anomaly pass by. The cab forward was originally designed for use in the tunnel-laden region of the Northern California mountainous region and the timber-rich Oregon mountains. A standard steam locomotive is designed with the cab crew at the rear of the boiler and firebox. This design becomes problematic while passing through the long tunnels as the heat and smoke becomes dangerous to the crew. The cab forward design puts the crew ahead of the poisonous gases and gives the crew an unobstructed view of the tracks ahead in the tunnels. Although this locomotive is unique, it's still not clear why this locomotive is passing through the Union Pacific's Wyoming Division heading to the Cheyenne Yard with a large load of Oregon's finest finished lumber and many other commodities from the Northwest area. Our train passes through Creston, the Great Divide, a desolate area, headed to Sinclair, where it will slow a bit without stopping as it passes through the main yard near the oil refineries. Our train rolls by the grade crossing gates of an unnamed country road east of Rock Springs. Our train glides through Sinclair Yard with little notice from the dock workers and yard crew who see and hear numerous steamers throughout their workday. Only the most alert will recognize this as not a typical locomotive, but only after it's passed and the details are no longer visible. Our lumber train thunders through Hannah as the sound sends the local wildlife running. The Laramie yard limits slow the train to a leisurely roll past the icing platforms and through the engine servicing area and roundhouse. Once again, the strange locomotive draws little attention until it's well past the observers. As our train passes the tie treatment plant, it triggers the overhead signal to occupied as it heads out of Laramie into the steep grades of Sherman Hill. Rail fans along the right-of-way recognize the cab forward and capture pictures as fast as their camera shutters will work. The 4117 leans into the grade as it increases speed up the beginning of Sherman Hill. The engine crew are grateful for the locomotive design as it approaches the Hermosa Tunnel. With plenty of power still available, the cab forward continues to climb from the tunnel exit through the Sherman summit, then backs off the throttle as the downhill grade takes over. The lumber train glides down the grade through the 7,000 and 6,000 foot elevation points as it continues to the distant yard limits of Cheyenne. Our train, with its unique cab forward, picks its way through the crossover switches to find its designated route into the Cheyenne yard. The crew is looking forward to a good Western steak dinner at the end of their work shift. The cab forward will be serviced, then turned on the Cheyenne turntable for a return trip to its familiar tracks through the tunnels and forest of the great Northwest Mountain area.